Floss Tube friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Chris. Today is Thursday, December 28th, and I'm here with my year-end wrap-up for 2023. What we're going to do today is we're going to go over everything that I've worked on this year. I'm going to show you pictures of where WIPs that were carried over from 2022, where they were at the beginning of this year, and then obviously where they are at this point now. So we have quite a bit to go over, so let's just get started. I am going to work from oldest to newest WIP. So the oldest WIP that I carried over from last year into this year was my Behind the Bit. I'll put a photo in here of what it will look like. This is a pattern by White Willow Stitching. I stitched it on an 18 count oatmeal Aida with the called for DMC. I started this on December 31st, 2018. At the beginning of 2023, I was 57.34% done according to Pattern Keeper. And I actually finished this project on September 16th of this year. So I will insert a photo here of what it looked like when it was finished and framed and hanging on my wall. Next, the next oldest WIP carried over from last year was my Christmas Village by Sarah Germani. I stitched this on a 32 count lamb's wool linen with the called for DMC. I started this on July 7th, 2019. Here's a photo of where it was at the beginning of this year. And here is the finish. I finished this on May 25th of this year. And I finished it into like a quilted wall hanging. A little bit closer. Next up, we have Walk with Dog. This is a pattern by that was charted by Artisy based on the artwork of Leonid Afremov. I started this on July 10th, 2019 on an 18 count white Aida with the called for DMC 2/1. Here's where it started this year. It was about 7.66% done at that point. And here is where it is now. So you can see I have restarted this, and I talk about that in more detail in some of my past videos. If you're more interested, let me know and I can send you a link. But I've restarted this on a 25 count fabric, and I'm doing it 1/1. And so I'm up to this point now. Next up we have the Gifts for All stocking. This is a kit, out of print kit by Dimensions, featuring the artwork of Donna Race. I started this on July the 14th, 2019 on the kit fabric, which is a 14 count white Aida with all of the kit threads. It began this year at this point. And I finished this on July the 8th of this year. Here is where it is. So many details in this. The French knots and the cording. Next up is my project called, I call it the DMC color card. This is a pattern I got off of Etsy by a designer or an Etsy shop called Men on Wool. I started this on November 22nd, 2020 on an 18 count Aida with the called for DMC 2/1. Here's a photo of where it was at the beginning of the year. And here is where it is now. Still a little bit more to go. Next up, we have Shooting Stars, which was a 2020, I believe, Christmas sale through the Silk Stitching app. I started this on January 10th, 2021 on a 14 count black Aida with the suggested DMCs. The chart was originally designed using silks. I did change out the orange from what they suggested to more of a burnt orange. And I finished this. Oh, I'll put a picture in of where it was at the beginning of the year. And I finished this on March 21st, 2023. There it is there. Next up, we have Stallion. This is a pattern I purchased off of Etsy through a designer called Anna Duplant. I started this on January 10th, 2021, using an 18 count oatmeal Aida with the called for DMC 2/1. Here's a photo of where it was at the beginning of the year. And I finished this on July 24th of this year, and then I fully finished it. And here it is now. Next we have Leaves of Love Clematis. This is a pattern by Tellin Emblem. I started this on April 25th, 2021 on a 28 count black Jobelin with the called for DMC. Here's a photo of where it was at the beginning of the year. And I finished this on October 6th, 2023. And that's what it looks like. Next we have Santa's Truck Stocking, which will look like this. This is a Dimensions kit. I started this on May the 4th on the 14 count ivory Aida that came with the kit and with all of the kit threads. Here's a photo of where it started the year. And here's where it is now. So this WIP did not get touched this year. Next up we have Hunter and Foxhound. This is a kit by Luca S. I started this on May the 8th, 2021 on the 16 count cream Aida that came with the kit and with the kit floss. 2 strands over 1. Here's a photo of where it started the year. And here it is now. So this one also did not get worked on this year. Next we have Celebrate Christmas by Madame Chantilly. I started this on May the 15th, 2021 on a 32 count platinum linen with the called for DMC. Here's a photo of where it started the year. And here's where it is right now. So this also did not get any work this year. Next we have Spray Paint. This is a chart that I got through Artisy featuring the artwork of CJ Lotta. I started this on July the 1st, 2021, using an 18 count Ada with the called for DMC, 2 strands over 1. Here's a photo of where it started the year. It was 16.5% complete at that point. I did do a tiny little bit of work on this year, just this a little bit down here. So now I think it's 16.9% complete. Next we have Horses, which is a kit by Merezhka. I started this in July of 2021 on the 16 count cream Ada that came with the kit with all of the kit threads. Here's a photo of where it started the year. And here is where it is now. Next we have White Horse, which is a pattern I purchased through Etsy from a designer or an Etsy shop called Ava's Designs. I started this in July of 2021 on an 18 count white Ada with the called for DMC 2 over 1. Here is a picture of where it started the year. At that point it was at 13.38%. And here is where it is now. So I've come down here a little bit more. So now it's at 13.94%. Next we have the Santa Factory. This is a pattern by Heartstrings. I don't have the cover photo with me. I started this on December 24th, 2021. Here is a picture of where it started the year. I'm stitching this on a 32 count Picture This Plus Legacy linen with the called for DMC. And I finished this on January 5th, 2023. Next we have Whip It, which is by Awesome Patterns Studio. I started this on December 31st, 2021 on a 28 count linen. I know the linen's called Time. I'm not sure who the dyer is. And I'm stitching it with DMC, but I did my own conversion. Here's a photo of what it looked like at the beginning of the year. At that point, it was 33.71% complete. And here is where it is now. And now it's 66.94% complete. So getting there. Next we have Daisies, which is also a pattern I purchased off of Etsy from a shop called Counting the Stars. I started this on March 3rd, 2022 on a 16 count white Ada, and I'm doing it 2 over 1 with the called for DMC. Here's a picture of where it started the year. At that point it was 6.89% complete. And here is where it is now. So this also was a WIP that did not get worked on this year. Next we have Do Not Worry, or I believe Eye on the Sparrow might be the proper name. This is by Silver Creek Samplers. I started this on March the 6th, 2022 on a 32 count Picture This Plus Legacy linen with the called for DMC. Here's a photo of where it started the year at. And here is where it's at now. Next is Fox and Friend, which is by Teresa Kogut. I started this on April 2nd, 2022. I'm stitching this on a 32 count lakeside linen in the color pear. That's the called for fabric, with a combination of called for threads, which are some DMCs and some hand dyeds. Here is a picture of where it started the year. And here's where it's at now. So this also did not get any work done this year. Next was A Year in Chalk series by Hands On Design. I started this series on October 13th, 2022, and I've actually completed the series. I completed the entire series on August 5th, 2023. And these are stitched on the Gunmetal Weeks Dye Works linen. It's a 32 count with just a combination of threads that I pulled from Stash. So I'll just quickly show you. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Next we have Quiet Night, which is a Dimensions Petite, featuring the artwork of Fred Swan. I started this on October 13th, 2022, on the 18 count Navy Ada that came in the kit with the kit threads. I'll put a photo in of where it was at the beginning of the year. And here it is now. Next we have Cardinals in a Christmas Tree. This is artwork of Abraham Hunter that was charted by Artisy. I started this on November 9th, 2022 with an 18 count Ada and the called for DMC stitching 2/1. At the beginning of the year, here's a photo of what it looked like. At that point, I was 1.3% completed. And here is where it is now. And again, I did not work on this year, so it hasn't progressed. It's still at 1.3%. Next up, we have Blackwork Rainbow. This is a pattern from Etsy by a designer called Peppermint Purple. I started this on December 10th, 2022 on an 18 count Ada with the called for DMC. Here is a photo of where it was at the beginning of the year. And here is where it is now. It's very hard to show the black work, I find. Next we have the Jingle Bell Christmas Tree Farm by Victoria's Sampler. I started this on December 24th, 2022, using the called for Smoky Pearl Zweigart in a 28 count, and I'm using all of the called for threads. So there's some silks and some overdyes and some pearl cottons, and here is a photo of where it was at the beginning of the year. And here is where it is now. It's very small. And then the last WIP that was carried over from last year is this Heritage Crafts pattern featuring the artwork of John Clayton. This is called Hard Frost. I started this on December 31st, 2022 on the 27 count white even weave that came in the kit with the called for DMC. I will put a photo in here of where it was at the beginning of this year. And here is where it is now. So I worked on this a little bit this year. So those are all of the WIPs that were carried over from last year. So I'm going to pause just for a second and clean up some of this stuff to make room, and then I will share with you all the things that I started this year. Okay, I'm back. Cleaned up that mess. Let's make another one. So now we are starting with projects that were started in 2023. So the first project was actually a small series. I'm calling it the Seasonal Farm Scene. It came from a Cooler Design Studio leaflet. It's an older leaflet. I don't have it with me right now. The designer's name of that leaflet, oh, I can't pronounce this. Here, I'll show you. Hernandez, but I don't know how to pronounce that first name and I don't want to butcher it. But so that was the designer in the leaflet. And I started this series on February 3rd, 2023. It's seasonal so there's 4 of them. And I actually finished it on March 24th, 2023. I stitched it on an 18 count Aida with the called for DMC 2/1, and I have fully finished it. And this is what it looks like. So that is the winter, and this is how I display it in this little frame I got at Michael's. It's not a very big frame. I think like the finished piece is like 2 3/4 inches square or something like that. So that is winter. There is spring. Summer. So it's all the same scene, the same barn, the same lane, the same tree, the same fields behind. I just thought it was really sweet. And that is autumn. The next thing I started this year was my Small Hearts Yearly Temperature Cell by Apricot Polka Dot. I'll put a picture in of the cover photo. This was a designer from Etsy. I did start this on February 21st of this year, and I'm pretty much caught up. So here's where I'm at. That looks really crooked. It's not really that crooked. So yeah, I'm about a week behind. So I'll probably have about 10 days to finish up the year, and I do hope to finish it on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and it will be finished. But such a fun stitch. I love how the colors come together. It's very cool. The next project I started this year was the Birdies and Berries series by Tellen Emblem. There's 4 in this series, so I'm counting it all as one WIP. And I started with the cardinal. Started this with my friend Kim on March 25th, 2023. I'm stitching this on a 32 count natural raw linen with the called for DMC and a few Gentle Arts threads. And here is where I'm at. Kim's done. She's done hers, probably moved on to the next one. And that's what I have done so far. Next one I started was Cute Kitten. This is a full coverage pattern by the Country Creative Stitches off of Etsy. I started this on May 27th, 2023 on a 25 count ivory Lugana with the called for DMC, and I'm doing it 1/1. I am not doing the background, so I'm only stitching the kitten on this cream even weave. And that's what I have so far. An ear and the back of his head. My next start this year was Thunder Ridge. This is an out of print Dimensions Gold kit. I started this on July the 9th with the 18 count Navy Ada that came in the kit and with the kit threads. Here is what that looks like. Next start was Forever Wild by Janlin. I started this on July 14th, 2023 on the 18 count light blue Ada that came in the kit with the kit threads. And I've since realized that this actually is a series. There's a lot of different animals you can get in this Forever Wild series. So I might consider collecting some more of those in the future, but I'll start with the horse because, well, it's a horse. So, and this is where I'm at on that one. My next start was the Anne of Green Gables cell by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. This is one of her Stitching Book Club cells. I started this on September 17th, 2023, along with my friend Barb. I'm stitching this on an 18 count pale yellow Ada, which Barb gifted to me, along with the threads and the pattern she gifted me. And this is what I have done so far. So obviously not keeping up with the sal. The sal is long over. But it's a beautiful chart and beautiful colors. It's going to be really fun to stitch. Next start was Lakeside Retreat by Mill Hill. This is a Mill Hill buttons and beads kit. I don't have the cover photo with me. I started this on October 7th, 2023, and I finished it on October 16th. And I basically stitched it with the perforated paper and all the threads and beads in the kit. Yeah, it's hard to see the beads on camera. A lot of beads on there. Next start was the Rainbow Block Sampler. This is a pattern by Vivsters that I purchased off of Etsy. I started this on October 25th, 2023 on a 32 count antique white linen with the called for DMC. And here is where it is now. So I'm color completing when I stitch this. That's why it looks kind of random and all over the place. But it's fun watching as the squares get completed. So. My next start was the Doreen Jones Christmas Sal 2023. This was a free stitch along that she offered through her Facebook group. I started this on October 27th, 2023 on a 32 count antique white linen with the code for DMC. And I actually finished it on December 20th, 2023. So there's the finished Sal. How cute is that? Such a fun stitch, fun colors, cute and whimsical. And then my last and final WIP that I have to share with you, which was my final new start this year, was Christmas Village by the Prairie Schooler. This was a stitch along that I secretly joined in on. Hosted by Ellen from Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour and several of her friends. So I'm stitching this, I started this, did I say this, on November 10th of this year. I'm stitching on a 32 count vintage smoky white linen with the called for DMC. And here is where I'm at. So I've got several of the trees in, several of the geese. Started on the house on the tree farm. Yeah, this linen's really fun to stitch on. So that is everything. Everything that I carried over from last year, everything that I started this year, all the things I finished this year. So just to sum up, I'll give you a few of the statistics. So I started this year with 25 WIPs that I carried over from last year. 5 of those did not get worked on this year at all. I did have 15 new starts, and I actually had 15 finishes. And of those, 8 of them were fully finished. Now there may have been some in there. I had some secret stitching and stuff that I did that I may not have actually shown you, but yeah, so those are the statistics. Started with 25, 5 weren't worked on, had 15 new starts, 15 finishes, 8 of those finishes were fully finished, and so now I'm carrying over 25 WIPs into 2024. So, not bad. So thank you so much for coming and letting me share my year in review with you. I hope that you enjoyed seeing maybe some of those things that I worked on, some of the things I finished, some of the things I started. And if there's any questions about anything that I forgot to mention, please leave me a comment down below. Otherwise, again, thank you for taking time out of your day to stop by and have a little visit with me and let me share my stitching with you. And until next time, see ya. Bye.